Welcome friends. Today we are going to learn about the magnetostriction method for the generation of ultrasound. So first of all we will start with various methods which are available for the production of ultrasound. There are total 5 methods are available for the generation of ultrasound. The first one is magnetostrictive transducer, electromagnetic transducer, pneumatic transducer, mechanical transducer, and piezoelectric transducer. Now the question is, what is a transducer? Let me explain in a short manner that what is transducer. Transducer is a device which can convert one kind of energy into another kind of energy. So in this case, in case of magnetostrictive, in case of magnetostrictive transducer, this transducer will convert the magnetostriction, the energy which is generated by magnetostriction method, into a sound energy which is ultrasound in nature. That means about 20 kilohertz. So in this way, there are total 5 different methods available for the generation of ultrasonic waves. Now let us see the magnetostriction method. For the sake of simplicity, we are dividing this particular topic into 4 different sections. The first one is principle, then construction, working, and merits and demerits. So let us see first of all the principle of magnetostriction effect. In this case, we are using a ferromagnetic material in the form of a rod. So here, let us consider this is a ferromagnetic rod. If we put this rod into external magnetic field, at that time its length will either increase or decrease. Suppose we are putting ferromagnetic rod into external magnetic field, its length is increasing. If we alter here, the direction of magnetic field is left to right. Now, if we alter the direction of magnetic field, then its length will decrease. That means in a particular one direction, if a magnetic field is applied in one direction, the length of this ferromagnetic rod will increase, and in the another direction, its length will decrease. So if we alter the direction of magnetic field continuously, at that time the length of this ferromagnetic rod will continuously getting increase and decrease. So similarly, when a ferromagnetic material in the form of a rod is subjected to an alternating magnetic field, as shown in this figure, the rod undergoes alternating contraction and expansion at a frequency which is equal to the frequency of applied magnetic field. This phenomenon is known as magnetostriction effect. So this is the principle. On this principle, magnetostriction device does works. So now let us see the construction of magnetostriction method. First of all, we are taking a ferromagnetic rod, obviously. This ferromagnetic rod is being fixed from the center, and on the two end of the ferromagnetic rod, two coils are being wound. Let us name those coils as L1 and L2. On one end, so this particular structure does forms a, it looks like a transformer which is having two different coils which are magnetically linked with each other, because this core is a ferromagnetic rod, and L1, suppose it is a primary coil, and L2 is a secondary coil. So this forms a transformer. On one end of the L1 coil, on the a capacitor, which is actually variable capacitor, that is connected parallel to the L1 coil. So this particular section will work as a tank circuit, LC oscillator, as we know. Okay. And on one end of this tank circuit, positive terminal of battery is connected via milliammeter, and another end of this tank circuit is connected to a collector junction of NPN transistor. So this transistor will act as an amplifier. Okay. Base terminal of this amplifier, transistor NPN transistor amplifier, is connected to one end of L2 coil, and another end of L2 coil is connected to emitter junction of the amplifier, negative terminal of battery, as well as ground. So in this particular, this is the construction of magnetostriction method, circuit diagram for the magnetostriction device. In this section we can see the four different devices are attached with each other. First one is the transformer, tank circuit, amplifier, and this is the battery section. So there are four different devices are interconnected in a magnetostriction circuit. Now let us see the working of this device. Whenever we switch on the power supply, a DC supply will be given to this tank circuit, and the tank circuit will oscillate with its resonance frequency. That resonance frequency is given by F is equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root L into C. So this is the resonance frequency that can be given by, that can be generated by this tank circuit. So tank circuit will oscillate with this particular frequency. Due to that, a mutual induction will take place into L2 circuit. So the L2 circuit will also oscillate with this frequency F is equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root LC. So that signal will be faded to the base emitter junction of the NPN transistor, and that signal will be amplified at the collector emitter junction of the NPN transistor, and whatever the current is passing through this positive terminal tank circuit, collector, emitter, and negative terminal of battery, that signal will be amplified and it will again be faded to L1 coil. So inside the L1 coil again a high amplitude signal will pass, which will induce more induction into L2 coil. So now the inside this L2 circuit, a amplified signal will travel, which will again get amplified due to this amplifier. So in this way, continuous feedback amplification will take place and very high amplitude signal will be generated inside this particular circuit. And due to this signal which is passing through L1 and L2 coil, this ferromagnetic rod will oscillate with a frequency, with a particular frequency. That frequency is not a resonance frequency, but that frequency can be given as F is equal to 1 upon 2 into L under root E divided by rho, where L is the length of ferromagnetic rod, E is the Young's modulus of this ferromagnetic rod, and rho is the density of ferromagnetic rod. So rod will oscillate with this particular frequency. So if we can set the frequency of oscillation of tank circuit by varying the C1, by setting the value of C1 in such a way that this frequency which is passing through L1 and L2 coil, electric signal which is passing through L1 and L2 coil is beyond 20 kilohertz. So at that time, this rod will also oscillate with very high frequency which will be beyond 20 kilohertz, and it will oscillate with ultrasonic frequency and it will generate an ultrasonic wave on both the side of length. So in this way, the magnetostriction device generates the ultrasonic waves. Now let us see the merits and demerits of magnetostriction method. The first merit is the design of magnetostriction oscillator is very simple and its production cost is very low. The second merit is at low ultrasonic frequency, large output power is possible without any risk of damage to the oscillatory circuit. These are the merits of magnetostriction device. The third merit is frequency ranging from 100 Hz to 3000 kilohertz can be produced using magnetostriction method. These are the three merits of magnetostriction devices. The first demerit is it cannot generate the ultrasonic wave of frequency beyond 3000 kilohertz. So this is its first demerit. Second demerit is the frequency of oscillator depends greatly upon the temperature. And the third demerit is there will be the losses of energy due to hysteresis as well as eddy current, because we are using ferromagnetic rod as a core of a particular transformer. So hysteresis losses and eddy current losses will always be there. So this is all about the magnetostriction method. Okay, goodbye.